Hi and welcome to The Trading Golfer, and in today's video we are covering a viewer request subject. I was sent an email and the email was very simple. Could I please do a video on how to deal with water hazards and how you dealt with them in the early days when you were a higher handicap player? So great, it's a great question, it's a great topic. Water hazards, as you're probably aware, can appear anywhere on your golf course. They're usually natural, but they can also be man-made as well. They're used to supply water for irrigation, and they're used to supply water for irrigation for greens and fairways and tees, but also to store water when drains are linked to them to actually get rid of the rainwater that comes in through the winter. So a lot of clubs have water hazards and we have to go over them or avoid them to proceed with our round. So a lot of players in the early days when they have a higher handicap often struggle with water hazards. They look at a water hazard as part of the course and look at it and think, oh, I've got to go over this, and immediately they're on the back foot. So remember the different types of water hazard you can approach. You have water hazards which are ditches going along the side of the fairway. That can be on the left or the right and marked by stakes. You can also have a ditch or a brook or some sort of water hazard which goes across the fairway as well. So it could be down the side and then comes across the fairway. It could come across the fairway twice. So if you're standing on a tee and you can look ahead and you can see stakes in the middle of the fairway, you know there's a water hazard there. And it's then a good idea to know the distance to it so you know whether you can lay up or clear it with your normal shot. But the question I got more important feedback from was how to deal with going across a pond or a lake. Going across a ditch is okay, it's only quite narrow. But when you've got to go across a pond, which can sometimes be 25, 30 yards or more in width, or a lake, which is more, and whether the lake is at the beginning of the hole, just past the tee, so you've got to drive over it, or you've got to go over it to go to a second shot, or even worse, you've got to go over it for your green, or the green is in the middle of the lake. There's lots of island greens out there. The mindset is still the same. And the mindset that I adopted very early on in my golf game, and it was a PGA pro that told me this, was ignore the water. Now I know that sounds simple, but just ignore the water, as though the water isn't there. So that you just treat the hole as normal. You play your normal shot. If your normal shot is a 200-yard carry and you've got to carry 120 yards, you play your normal shot, you're clear. If you're someone who takes normally an iron off of the tee because you're not so comfortable or confident with your driver, know that you've got the distance to get over. So it's all about ignoring the water hazard itself when it's in front of you, but also making sure you've got enough club to clear it. There's no point in you just ignoring it and just hitting a pigeon wedge when you know you've got to clear 180 yards. It's not going to happen. So water hazard mindset is so important. Of course, with lateral water hazards, it's still something you need to be aware of, because if we go back to off the tee, you've got to be straight. And if you've got water hazards down the left and the right, and you're not straight, or you're a hooker or a slicer, then you're going to have problems, and that's going to cause you problems as well. So just refer yourself back to that hook slice video that we did earlier in the series. So I hope that helps with regards to water hazards, but the most important thing to remember about water hazards is if you block them out and make sure you just treat the hole as normal, you'll find that water hazards won't give you too much problems moving forward. Please remember to click subscribe and like the videos as they come out, and click subscribe, as I say, just so you get notified when we publish new material. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.